to start this video by praying over whoever needs clarity, whoever needs answers, whoever is feeling lost, whoever is feeling like they don't understand what is going on. I pray that God gives you the peace and calmness that you're looking for. And I pray that you find your path forward. And I pray that you know that even if it doesn't look the way that you think it's supposed to look right now, all things are being worked out for your good. And He is protecting you and guiding you exactly where you need to be. My baby is right next to me in his swing. That is what you hear. I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to move forward with filming this video. But I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Thank you for being in this space as I start to share more of the content that feels more aligned with me and share things based off of experience. So in this video, I really just wanted to talk about ways that can help you gain clarity, things that you can try to get out of the rut of feeling like you are lost. Sometimes I feel like we think that we are lost, but we're actually being redirected and getting into the spaces that God has for us. And that's exactly what I've been going through lately. I'm still not in a perfect space. I'm still not where I want to be, but He is working on me and I am embracing every single step and being grateful for the steps, even if they feel hard, scary, and like they're never going to end. I am being very intentional about how I embrace things these days because if I don't, I'm going to lose my mind. So I wanted to get on here today and just talk about some of the things I find have been helpful in gaining clarity in my own life in hopes that it can help you too. Speaking of God, the first thing that I want to talk about is prayer and leading on Him for everything that it is that we do. This is something that I'm still learning how to do. This is still something that I'm still practicing, but it's something that I feel like is very necessary because when I try to lean on my own understanding and do everything my way and I'm going to figure it out myself, it does not work. I get very confused. Sometimes my thoughts get in the way. I start doubting my path. I start doubting my capabilities, doubting the things that I want to do. And every single time that I sit down and talk to God and have those real conversations and I just let it go, even cry and journal and meditate on His word, every single time I'm led back in some type of way right back to where I was, to be reminded of the capabilities that I have because they were placed in me by Him in the first place. I did not pull this from myself. I did not get this strength from myself. I did not get the talents that I have for myself. You do not have anything without God. And so in the midst of going through anything that you're going through when it comes to being confused, lacking clarity, that is not God. God knows exactly where you should be. He knows exactly where He wants you to be. And it's something that we have to lean into more. At least I'm speaking from my own experience and from a place of where I'm at. And all of these things that I'm going to talk about are from my experience, are from things that I am trying to actively do myself. And so I want you to keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just sharing what has been working for me. One thing that I've been finding helpful in my prayer is to ask God where He wants me to be. I have a very high inclination to go to Him and ask Him for things that I want. God, please give me this. God, please give me this job. God, please give me this situation. God, please give me the opportunity to get this, whatever it is. You asking Him for the things that you actually want. But I find more peace in knowing that I've asked Him for things that He wants me to have because I know when I get them, it's going to be from Him, which means that they have to be good. This is how I started moving back in like 2022 when my grandmother was sick and she was getting ready to pass away. And I started to really, really lean into my faith and really, really start talking to God and just praying to Him and asking Him for that strength and anything that I needed in that moment. It's about, what do you want from me, God? What do you want me to do? Because I'm only here to do your will. I am not here for any other purpose. And what I get is all because of you. Anything that is going on in my life that I may not even see, different dangers, different things that are going on that I'm not even hip to, He already knows and He's already protecting me, or He's already guiding me into the next best opportunity that is for me and my family and my loved ones. So in a nutshell, just please lean on God as much as you can. And that to me is the foundation of everything else that I'm going to say in this video. It starts there. Another thing that has helped me over the past few years is journaling. Journaling brings so much clarity. And at first, when I started journaling, I was like, what is the point of this? Like, what am I going to get out of this outside of just writing, and getting some writing practice, I guess. But I'm telling you, every single time I journal and I'm intentional and I'm actually pouring out what I truly feel, not just writing down things because it sounds good or because it's what, I think I should be writing. I'm actually like pouring out what I'm feeling, whether it is depression, whether it's happiness, whether it's anxiety, whether it's something good that happened. It doesn't matter what it is that I'm going into that journaling session to write about. When I'm intentional and I'm actually writing about it wholeheartedly, every single time I come out of it with a piece of clarity, a piece of like, that makes more sense. Or I'm leaving some of my fears on that piece of paper. And what I mean by that is like sometimes I'll go through things and I think that they are bigger than what they are. And as soon as I get to writing them down and I start to actually read back what I wrote, or I'm starting to actively listen to what it is that I'm saying, because when I'm writing it, it's like me saying it out loud in a sense. I'm getting it out of my head. It's a form of getting it out of your head and into a different space. When I do that, sometimes my problems don't even seem as big anymore. And I'm not negating anybody's problems. I'm not saying that your problems are just going to go away or they're going to be, more minor. But what I do realize is, like I said, is that sometimes things that are in my head seem huge in my head. And then once I speak them out to someone or I write them down in my journal, they don't seem big anymore. Or I can kind of break the problem down a little bit better and say, okay, here is the pinpoint of where I need to start. Let me start to break this down. Let me start to problem solve this issue. Is it something that I need to be worried about right now? Is it something that I can change? If it's not, okay, I can't do anything about it. Let me move on to something more pressing. So, getting into your journal will bring a lot of clarity just because you're getting things out of your head, freeing up that mental space to then further really rationally think about the things that you're going through. Right, I had to move over to the couch, but I wanted to leave you guys with this journaling prompt, and it's one of my favorites. I don't remember where I first heard it, but it's something that I feel brings so much clarity and it helps so much. And it is something to the effects of, if you could do anything in this world and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? What would that one thing be? What would it be? Every single time I use this journaling prompt and I go in and I actually truthfully and wholeheartedly answer this question, I am led right back to the space that I was in before. The same things that I was running from or thought were too hard or maybe I wasn't good enough to do, I am right back in those spaces. And that should tell you something. So anytime I am finding those moments of needing to be centered again outside of the prayer, I like to come back to this question: what would you be doing if you knew that everything that you put into it would succeed? Everything that you wanted to do with this one thing would go right. What would it be? Answering this question, in my opinion, really helps pull out those things that you truly love doing. This is if you, like I said, answer it truthfully and wholeheartedly and open, with the open mind. And it really gets you back centered to the things that bring you the most joy. So once you answer that question, maybe start to think of some of the things that you feel are keeping you from getting there. Is it fear? Is it the lack of uncertainty? Is it the feeling of not being secure in those ways of doing whatever it is that you want to do? Whatever it is, write those things out. Be honest, be open. It's just for you. This is not something that you have to go and publish tomorrow for the world to read, but be honest and open about these answers so that you can truly start to tackle the things that make sense to tackle. And so once you start to find those things that give you fear, maybe you can start to journal about things to get over them or start to rationalize if they're even things to be worried about in the first place. So journaling has not only helped me come to the realization of things that I wanted to be doing and putting me back in the spaces that I needed to be put in mentally, emotionally, and all of those things, but it also sometimes reels me back in and makes me realize that I was not always lost per se. It may have just been a pivotal moment in the next phase, going into that next stage of whatever it is that I was supposed to be doing. So getting elevated. So not always when we feel lost are we actually feeling lost. And if we are, not always is it a negative thing. It could be a thing of you're getting ready to step into that next phase of greatness, that next phase that you should be in, and you just are getting prepared for it. God is molding you. You are molding yourself. You are getting prepared for what it is that you need to go into, because sometimes we can't always step into the spaces that we are meant to be in with how we are sitting, with the posture that we're in at that current moment. And I truly feel right now God is positioning me to go into that next phase. And so I'm very uncomfortable. I'm very like what we doing here? It's like double dutch. When do I jump in? Which one me to do? So I feel like that's not always a negative thing. Just pay attention to it, lean into it, figure it out, dig deeper, and see what comes out. All right, this next one is a big one, and that's, what are you indulging in? What are you surrounding yourself with? What are you letting into your space? What are you letting into your mind, right? These are the things that are so hard to tackle because we are so easily distracted in 2025. We are so easily swayed by different things because there's so many different opinions on things. There's so many different ways of doing things. There's so many things out there in this big old world. And so, what are you doing to keep your mind clear? What kind of YouTube videos are you watching? What music are you listening to? What people do you have around you? What foods are you eating? So, for me personally, I have been watching what kind of YouTube videos I take engagement in. I usually don't do this because YouTube is my favorite place. It's my favorite app, my favorite platform. And I usually just kind of watch whatever pops up on my recommended for the most part. I've kind of cultivated and curated my recommended to a certain extent. But here lately, some of the videos that have been coming up, I have actually had to tell YouTube I don't want to see this. And it's nothing against the creator, it's nothing against anything. It's just that it's not conducive to the space that I'm in right now. It does not help me, it does not serve me, in a sense of it's only actually making me maybe a little bit more anxious, or if I watch it, it's going to make me a little bit more worrisome or a little bit more unclear. So I'm very intentional right now in this moment about what I'm watching on YouTube, because if it's something that's could easily sway me off the path that I'm on, I don't want to indulge in it. I don't want to engage in it. And it's nothing, like I said, it doesn't have to be that it's a bad video. It just isn't something that is good for me to watch in this moment. So be very vigilant of that. Try not to watch a whole bunch of stuff that will bring you confusion, that might knock you off track and give you too many options, if that makes sense. If you know for a fact that you have a path that you are set on and you have this thing that you really want to do, try to avoid some of the videos that may be telling you another opinion about it, or maybe a video that may knock you off of what it is that you were trying to do in the first place, because it's like confusing you, like, well, should I really be going after that because this person said that it wasn't a good path, or this person said that I shouldn't be doing it. You have to realize that everybody has their experience, and not everything that everybody tries is going to work for them. Not everything that we do is going to be the thing that we're supposed to be doing. So you can't listen to other people say what worked for them and what didn't work for them and then take that at face value of what's going to happen in your life, because again, God has his own path for you. You have to be in tune with you and God, and whatever does not serve that path and what you guys are communicating about, don't even indulge in it. Same thing with music. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm having a hard time breaking from secular music. I really am. And I'm going to be open and transparent about that. It's something I grew up on. All of us have pretty much grown up on it. But I just love music, and I have certain artists that I listen to, specifically Kendrick Lamar, that just like gets me in a whole mindset that I personally like to be in. But I do realize that in this walk that I'm going in my faith, in this walk that I'm going on with God, I do have to learn how to find that balance, or to be obedient and completely cut it out. I know for a fact there are certain songs that I definitely do not listen to, certain artists that I just will not listen to because it's a bit too much for me at my big age. But it is definitely something that you need to be mindful of, because if we're what we listen to does play a huge role. And there are certain songs that you just probably should not engage in, and they can definitely bring you into a different mindset or play on your emotions and your mood. And so just be very vigilant. But I can't sit here and tell you to stop listening to all music and stuff and just all these other things, because I'm still trying to break free myself from the secular music. But if you get what I'm saying, it's just another avenue to watch when it comes to indulging in different things. So even like I said, when it comes to food and diet, I notice that when I drink certain things or things that have a lot of caffeine in it, whether it's a certain time or day or not, sometimes I'm trying to figure out if that's playing a role in it. But when I indulge in taking too much caffeine, I'm more anxious. I'm more in my head. My thoughts are racing a little bit more. And specifically when I drink pop, or like I said before, I'm from the Midwest, y'all, so we say pop. But I know some of y'all, everybody else in the US says soda, but we say pop. So if I say pop, that's what I mean, soda. When I drink pop, it makes me a little bit more anxious. And so I do have to watch what I intake with that, because I know that it's probably going to trigger me, or it's even just going to make me feel sluggish and sleepy. And I don't want to do that midday because I have too many things to do. So watch everything that you're taking in, not just by sight, by vision, but also internally as well. Just try to do better with different things. And that's something I'm working on too. But I notice when I eat at home, when I'm drinking my water, when I'm doing those things that I need to do, I feel my best. And that goes without saying, but it's just a reminder. Drink your water, eat at home, and movement. Get your works, your steps in. So, as a conclusion, this is not something that is going to happen overnight. Getting clarity takes time. It takes the work, it takes the time that you put in, but you're going to get out the value of it tenfold. So start with the little things. Start with the things that you can do right now. Not that prayer is little, but it's something that you can do right now. It doesn't cost anything. It's not, something that's going to take a whole bunch of time out of your day. Find those pockets of time where you can be in peace and at quiet with just you and the Lord, and see what he tells you. Listen to what he's trying to tell you. And sometimes I'm still learning how to hear him. So I know sometimes you're going to be like, I don't really know how to hear God. I don't really have the answers to that. And everybody's situation is different, because I can tell you how I hear God, but it's going to be different for you because we're two totally different people with two totally different relationships with him. But start with something like that. Maybe pray, maybe read a Bible verse, and then sit in quietness and meditate on it for 5 to 10 minutes. Whatever time that you have, really soak in what it is that the word is trying to tell you, because I truly believe that everything in the Bible, even if we don't realize it in the midst of reading it, it has a purpose as to why we need to know it. It has a purpose as to why we need to read it and, build upon it. So maybe start with prayer, meditation, and journaling and see where that gets you. Really try to weigh in on the things that you are going through and start to analyze and break them down to see what the actual magnitude of them is, and see where you can start to pick them apart, break them down, or totally discard them. And I promise you, with a little bit of effort, you will feel so much better, and you will gain so much more clarity, because you're not holding on to everything inside of you. You're not trying to figure it all out by yourself. You're not trying to keep it all in your head and keep it inside. You are actually getting it out. So sometimes, even if we don't want to speak to other people about our problems, we still need to get them out in some ways, because it frees up the space in our mind and it helps us to get more clarity. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. What are some things that you are trying to gain clarity on, or what are some things that you've tried to do that have actually helped you gain clarity, or at least a better peace of mind? Leave them in the comments below, because you never know how I can help someone else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, you know that, and I will see you in the next one.